What's up everybody, my name is Tonny and I'm here with another Warframe guide video. In this video we will be looking at the Umbral Chroma Prime Hybrid. Before we get into the build, let's take a look at appearance real fast. So I got a Chroma set here, attachments. We got the Sindano over here, and for the Regelias, and I also have the emissive color of fire, or the red color. So straight into the build. I got one build for you guys, and this build uses both the Effigy, Vex, Armor, and Elements Award, and also replace the Spectral Scream, I think that's what it's called, with the Shooting Gallery. Now you cannot replace any of these abilities with the War or Eclipse because the Vex Armor is considered a damage buff, and DE does not like that, so we can't use War or Eclipse, so that's out the window. But don't worry, I got other abilities for you guys for replacement of those though. So let's take a look at the stats here. 306, 282 on strength. Don't forget the energy conversion and growing power. That's at 75%. That's basically 357 on ability strength. With the Effigy stats here, Vex armor stats over here, it's pretty good with the default ability strength here, but of course they're going to be a lot better. Arcanes, when it comes to Arcanes, I use Arcane Guardian. You guys can swap out Guardian with the Grace if you guys want to. It's up to you. But I think these stats are perfect the way they are, so no mock changes. I don't think it's good here. Unless you guys are going to be using Steel Charge. So if you guys will be using melee most of the time on your Chroma build, replace Growing Power with Steel Charge, you guys should be fine. You should be okay. It's only a 25% ability strength that's gone, but you should be fine. Now let's go straight into the demonstration. Okay, so here's the demonstration of the damage. I'm going to use Zenith with auto only for now. And now I'm going to show you guys the semi-auto. Let's do it on one enemy only. Here we go. Alright, let's go to semi now. This is without shooting gallery, you guys, and this is proccing both the energy conversion and the growing power. I missed my shots. Alright. So that is the damage on that. Now let's go with the actual shooting gallery now. I won't proc the Elements Award because I'm invincible. Okay, so automatics now. Body shots. Let's go for headshots. Let's go for semi now. Hopefully it stays a semi for a while. So that's the amount of damage I do. I'm going to show you guys really fast on the melee, since I still have shooting gallery. And we're all proccing the energy conversion, and this is how much HP you get. 10 to 15, or I'm sorry, 10, 15 right there. Not that bad. So those are the damage on the, of course, the enemies, of course. So shooting gallery does help a little bit, just by a tad bit. Not that big of a deal, but it's still better than nothing. Now, obviously, if you guys don't like shooting gallery on Chroma because you guys think that it does more damage than already, it does more damage already. I've got other abilities to show you guys that I think are great for both the Vex armor and Effigy, for those that want to use Effigy as well. I'll be showcasing that with the gameplay demo of Chroma. Alright, so we have seen what the shooting gallery can do, but what about the stats? Well, for those that wonders what the stats will look like with the energy conversion and the growing power, here it is. With the procs of energy conversion and growing power, you get 89% damage. Of course, durations at 91 seconds, and the meters would be at 5.4 for the gun jamming. But what about other abilities though? What if you guys do not like shooting gallery? Well, don't fret, I got you guys covered on that. When it comes to the second ability of my choice, War Cry, and of course using the internal war augment is recommended here. With the stats that I have, well, you get our estimation around 100% attack speed. Now keep in mind that there's diminishing returns, so I might be off on that. It might be around 90%. It might be 100 something, but I think around 100% of attack speed. That's pretty big. That's a lot. And with the armor of 178, of course it doesn't have any diminishing returns. You get a duration of 45-second duration and 8 meters of range. That's a decent amount of range for melee. So when it comes to using this though, You are pretty tanky with Warcry, so this is a great alternative for those that do not like shooting gallery at all. And finally, the last ability for damage for Chroma would be the Smite Infusion, which is the augment for Smite, or the Shock Trooper, which is the augment for Shock. With the stats, of course, that I have here, and proc and energy conversion and growing power, you get 357% damage. That's a lot. Now, for those that don't know how these work, for Smite Infusion, it's basically radiation. So there's very little options here when it comes to adding it with another element. Just keep in mind about that. So I would say Smite Infusion is great for Eidolon hunting. Otherwise, Shock Trooper is a go-to. And what Shock Trooper is basically a 9th elemental mod slot. So if you have, let's say, Toxin and only Toxin, then with the Shock Trooper, you will be able to make corrosive out of your damage. So that's pretty nice. And you get 122 seconds of duration, which is great. And you got a 5 meter of range for those that wants to get the buff. Of course, they have to be right next to you. Otherwise, 5 meters of range just to buff other players is great. Now, what about those that don't really want to get that damage or armor buff at all and want to actually focus on using Effigy a little bit better? Well, Effigy is great as is, as it doesn't use range at all. But for those that want to somehow synergize other abilities with Effigy, well, I only got 2 abilities for you guys, and maybe some more here. So let's take a look at what I have here. So we got Defy, which is great for both Effigy and non-Effigy. Of course, that's Vex and other stuff, so Defy is pretty good. You get the instant 750 armor cap once they shoot at you with that ability strength, and you get a 76 duration for both Banish and Defy. Now for Banish, you guys might be wondering, what the hell? So if you guys are going to be using Effigy, Banish is totally great on Effigy. And what happens is this: if you guys banish your Effigy, it cannot take any damage, but it can deal damage to enemies outside of banish. So unless the enemy is also banished, they can't damage the Effigy. So this is a great synergy right here. Obviously it's a little bit weird and it's not really needed, but you know, for those that wants to have a really cool God mode Effigy, here it is right there. Alright, so let's take a look at some other abilities that works with Chroma. Obviously this does not, some of these don't work with my build because I have negative range, but if you guys got range on your Chroma, I highly recommend these abilities. So Larva, if you guys have some good range and duration, probably you guys don't need ability strength with all that much on this one. You guys can grab a bunch of dudes. Alright, let's take a look at Healing Blast. So Healing Blast allows you to heal your Chroma every time you deal damage to enemies with the Fire Blast. So this is a pretty good augment. Obviously you gotta find a way to fit the augment inside your build, but I think this is another great alternative for those that wants to get some HP out as well as dealing damage and stripping armor. Just keep in mind that the Fire Blast armor cap is around 75% armor reduction. They cannot go 100. Breach Surge is also another ability you guys can use on Chroma. You guys have good range, good damage. Don't get me started on how much damage you guys would deal. You guys would do a lot of damage for sure. So this is another great alternative. Another great ability with Effigy is the Dispensary, and that gives you energy, health, and ammo. Another ability here would be the Zakta's Whispers. Now, I don't know if I say the name right, but this ability, I know people dislike this. So the way this works is that it's basically a Toxic Lash, but instead of toxin damage, it does void damage. Great against anti-sentient. Of course, when you guys are using it, you guys want to go up against sentients. Otherwise, it is not that great on other enemies. And finally, Spectral Siphon. I think this ability works really well with Effigy, if you guys got the range for it. Now, when it comes to it, of course, you gotta get the augment fit in there. But with that, if the enemy kills nearby the Effigy, of course, they get energy. You get infinite energy in return. And that is it for this video, you guys. Hopefully you guys like this video. If you guys do, give it a like, subscribe to support my channel. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, you guys, peace out.